Then I am thinking to invite two colleagues up here on the stage in order for us to discuss and inform you a little bit about our company, Sedermera Fondkommission. It's Birgitta, who will be posing a few questions to me, and to my colleague Frederick, whom you've met before. So please welcome.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
As Peter said, my name is Birgitta, and I work as a manager at Sedermera. And I will be asking these two gentlemen a couple of questions. So can you maybe start by introducing yourselves and telling us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I can start. I've been working with Sedermera for more than 14 years. So I've been part of building the company and had a lot of different leading positions in the company. We are running out of time, so I rest my case there. But please ask me more outside when we're drinking coffee.
And my name is Peter Malmström, and I have been with the company also for 14 to 15 years. So I know most of the things, what's going on in the company, not all of them. So if you have any questions in the next coming coffee break, please feel free to approach me.
So, Frederick, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of companies that Sedermera mainly work with?
Yeah, in general, we focus on growth companies, and we work with companies focus on the Nordics, but we work with companies from other parts of Europe as well, where we see an increased deal flow. But if you compare with a small flatline company, to say a little bit rough expressed, but the companies cannot be too boring. There need to be significant value inflection points if the companies succeed. So there need to be an interesting growth journey, to say, for us to be able to do a good job raising the capital.
And since we are in Denmark, what about the Danish companies? Anything specific?
No, I noticed the slide, and as you see, we have so far we have listed 15 Danish companies. But we actually started to look at the Danish market back in 2008. Back then we didn't know anyone in Denmark, but we actually stepped into the terrain carefully, and it took some time, as you see. In 2014 we helped Saniona with the listing, and that actually did break some ground in Denmark, so we're thankful for that. And Saniona had a really nice journey. We were listing at Spotlight Stock Market, named Aktier at the time, and is today listed at the main market. So you get a chance to listen to Saniona and Jürgen later on here this afternoon.
And do you want to comment on anything else about the development of the Danish companies of these kinds?
Yeah, I think if you look at the Danish market, when we started to work in the market there wasn't much activity at all, but we have been part of building the Swedish market, so we know it takes time. It takes a lot of allies to build a working ecosystem. We're glad to have Mikkel back here on stage, because we know that's an Aktiespararna is a very important player to get the system going, and we need more allies to get it going even more. But development has been very positive over the latest years, I think. But there is more to do and more to achieve.
And the slide here says that we have completed 15 IPOs of Danish companies since 2010. Anything to come?
Yeah, yeah, there is definitely. We have a deal flow on the pipeline with a lot of Danish companies, so there is definitely more to come. Of course, I cannot comment which companies are on the way and so on, but there will be more exciting companies for you to have a look at as investors.
And moving on to you, Peter. If I am an investor and want to take part of the deal flow that Sedermera has, what can I do? How do I do it?
Well, I think that being here at Sedermeradagen in Copenhagen is one good way to inform oneself of what's going on and what kind of offers we have for the time being. Also welcome to come over to Malmö, where we host a Sedermeradag. We do it in Gothenburg, and we also do it in Stockholm. So there you have 4 good examples of how to keep yourself updated of what's going on within Sedermera. Another way is to attend the events that we from time to time host here in Copenhagen. We have quite recently been at the St. Petri Hotel, where we have presented Eurosin, where we have presented Mon Event, and where we also had Invent Medic to give a presentation. So there you have another 3 ways of keeping into contact with us. And the way to do that, the easiest way, I would say, is to sign up and to become a member in Sedermera Invest. So my recommendation would be that if you are not yet a member, please enter our website Sedermera.se, as you probably are familiar with. And there you can sign up, and by doing so, you will get invitations to events like the one here today, and also to lunches and evening events, for example. So there you have different examples of how to stay in touch with what we have to offer.
And how would you say that the companies that we've listed have developed so far?
Tricky question, I would say. If you look over time, most of them have developed quite well, I would say. One has to remember that we are working with micro and small cap companies. The risk is a bit higher in these companies, but on the other hand, the reward can also be much higher than if you compare to the companies listed at the main market, for example. The volatility is a bit higher in our company. So most of them have developed well. And I would say also like to stress one thing, that it is not us at Sedermera who decides development of a company. In most cases, it's up to the company to fulfill the milestones that they have set out to fulfill. And one way for you as an investor is, of course, to be at an event like this one here today, so you can hear what they have in the future to come, so you get an opportunity to follow and to see that what they actually fulfill. And I can assure you, when a company fulfills what they have said, there will be a very positive reaction in the share price in general.
And right now, I'm sure everybody's aware that we're living in a little bit of a shaky market. Does that affect Sedermera's pipeline at all?
It does. By the fact that you, as investors, your appetite for risk has decreased tremendously overnight. And we have said that instead of stressing and pushing forward with those good, interesting offers that we have in pipeline, we've put them on hold for the time being. And I would like to stress that it's on hold. It's not that we're not going to present it, but instead of going to market with a rights issue, for example, this week or last week, we have decided to put it on hold. We are following the market and its developments. And for example, maybe we are coming back in a week or 10 days' time with that particular offer that we were planning to release 2 weeks earlier. So yes, it does affect us the way we produce them and we introduce them to the market. But I can just comment upon what Frederick said. The pipeline is there. It's building up. We are in constant contact with new companies approaching us, looking for our services one way or the other. So you can just take a look once again on our website, where we announce what the different offers are that we're working with presently.
Thank you, Peter. And Frederick, We do a lot of listings at Sedermera. Do we only work with Spotlight? Do we only list companies at Spotlight stock market, or how does it look?
The background for the question is actually that we are co-owned with Spotlight stock market, so it's a relevant question. But no, we do not only list companies on Spotlight stock market. We just saw an example here on stage with Curex listed on First North in Stockholm. And we like to work with all marketplaces that actually works well, and that is good for the companies. If you look at the Nordic market right now, you will find I think the best way to measure liquidity is actually turnover velocity, and you will find the best turnover velocity in Stockholm right now at Spotlight stock market and First North in Stockholm. So we try to follow actually the liquidity because that is extremely important for the companies to be able to raise further capital in secondaries and so on.
Is there anything that you can tell the audience about Sedermera that they wouldn't know?
Thanks. Yeah, it might be good to mention that we worked with a very streamlined process, for example. We are unique in that sense. And the background for that is when we started to work, we worked as the traditional way when you raise capital like we do. We were one advisor together with a lot of different advisors. And it actually, according to our opinion, it became a pretty messy process for the companies, especially for the small companies, micro cap, small cap that we work with. So we actually, we have, you can say, built our entire process when we work with companies. So we take care of the whole chain as a full service provider. And according to our view, that's the best way to work when you have limited resources, limited personnel and so on in a small company. Then you will need a lot of help. And at the end of the day, a structured process and a well-working process is also safe for investors actually entering the company. So.
And Peter, is it possible for an investor to be guaranteed allotment in Sedermera's transactions?
Wow, that's a question that comes up when, let's say that we have an offer that is very popular and there is a good demand in the market to become a shareholder of that particular company. Then one or two or three of you, sometimes you get in touch with us, you call us, and you say that I signed up for 100,000 Danish krona. And all I got was 5,000. I'm so disappointed. Is there any way that you can assist me in the next coming offers that if I'm really interested in investing 100,000 that I get an allotment allocation of the same amount? And there are ways, and we heard it from Michael Back here, there are opportunities and possibilities to sign up and to become a anchor, a cornerstone investor in some of the cases that we work with. And if you're interested in more of that kind of information, please approach me, Frederick, or Birgitta, for example, and we can tell you more in the coffee break that will follow our little discussion here.
Thank you, and thank both of you, because I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, correct.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.